Well, you can't say I'm not trying my hardest to create content for you guys. Back again with another game discussion video. I know, vomiting on YouTube here. I mean, it's just a video vomit this last month. I really didn't think I'd be making this many videos. I thought, January was going to be a light month buying things wise. It was going to be a light month playing games because I was playing some really long games, but it just so happened that my days off kind of lined up and I was able to finish a bunch of stuff. So here we go again with another game discussion video, and this one's going to be kind of an interesting one because this game right here, Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga 1, is my first Mega 10 game ever, and that is a big statement because I primarily play RPGs, and I sit here and I go, oh, I'm an RPG lover, I've played RPGs all my life. Never have played a Mega 10 game. So, check that off the bucket list. There we go. It's going to be an interesting one because on the one hand, I'm of two minds of this game, and I don't know if it's going to be indicative of the entire series, the entire Mega 10 series, or if it's just this game and then its eventual sequel when I get to that. But I really enjoyed my time with Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga until I got to the end. And then, because, most of the time when I play these games, when I get to the end, I just want to, I'm so close to the end, I want to see the end. I don't want to fart around, I don't want to have to grind, I just want to complete the game and move on. Now, there's some games like Grandia 2, when I was at the end, I was actually still really enjoying myself with the game. This game, however, when I got to the end, I wanted to just plow through it and go really fast. And that's kind of the thing about these Shin Megami Tensei, or at least Digital Devil Saga. I'm just going to say DDS from now on because saying digital and then devil, like, the alliteration just makes my tongue twist. But anyway, in playing DDS, it's not a game you can plow through really fast. It's a game that you have to kind of take your time with. And as I got towards the end, my natural inclination to be like, okay, I want to get this done, I want to move on, kind of took over, and I actually got really frustrated with the end. But then, once I beat it, I really started to like the game again. I was like, oh, a weight was lifted off my shoulders, and I felt good. But anyway, excuse me, sorry. First Mega 10 game. I have a lot of other games in the Mega 10 series. I have all the Personas, except for Eternal Punishment on the PS1. I'm going to play Persona 1 and Persona 2 on the PSP, and I'm kind of waiting out to see if they will make a PSP or a Vita version of Eternal Punishment. If not, then I will purchase the PS1. If I really like it, then I'll purchase the PS1 copy and play that. I have Digital Devil Saga 2. I have a couple other Mega 10 games that I can't really, well, one other Mega 10 game. Can't really talk about it right now because I haven't done my January pickups video yet. But yeah, this is a nice start to a new series. Let's get right down the brass tacks and let's talk about all the stuff I usually talk about in these videos. And we're going to start off with the story. Usually when I play RPGs, I really enjoy a sort of light story that gets dark. The characters are kind of like, what I'm thinking of is like Trails in the Sky, Grandia 1, Grandia 2, those types of games. I really like when the characters are humorous and, they have tragic events happen to them and they react to them in the proper way. And you kind of see the gamut of human emotion in those games. DDS is not that way. It starts off dark and it gets darker. So, the big thing that was going through my mind when I played this game and I was experiencing the story is when you go out and you order something to eat and you try something new and you enjoy it and you like it, but you don't want to have it all the time. That's how I feel about Digital Devil Saga. I enjoyed the story. I like the characters all right, but it's not the type of game that I would want to play all the time. Does that make sense? And with a lot of the things in this game, that's how I'm going to, I mean, basically across the board, that's kind of my reaction to this game. Now, granted, this is my first Mega 10 game, so as I move through other games, we'll see if my opinion changes on it. You guys get to see like sort of the evolution of my moving through Mega 10 games. But you know, the storyline, it starts off, you know, right in the action. You know, you have the team of the Embryon tribe. That was hard to say for some reason. Locked in battle with one of the other tribes. And we're going to pause there for a second because I want to talk to you about the world. The world is called the Junkyard, and it's this post-apocalyptic sort of nightmare world where these 7 tribes in kind of a Lord of the Flies type of way are all fighting each other to gain dominance over the Junkyard and ascend to Nirvana. Okay? So, you don't really know what Nirvana is, you just know that it's supposed to be better than what the Junkyard is, which the Junkyard is such a low bar for existence, you know, anything could be better than that. But the entire time I'm playing this, you know, with these guys, you know, fighting each other for tickets to a Nirvana concert, the entire time I'm playing this, I keep getting reminded of the movie Parts: The Clonus Horror, which I saw on Mystery Science Theater. You guys probably saw an updated version of that movie called The Island, where all these people are training to go to either America or the island, depending on which movie you watch. And as you find out, I hope I'm not spoiling the movie for you guys, but as you find out, these people are clones, and all this training and exercise is just for them to go get harvested, and that's what the island is getting harvested for parts. So the entire time I'm playing this, I'm thinking to myself, Nirvana is going to end up to be even more fucked up than the Junkyard is. It has to be. So I don't know yet, because that's part 2, and I'm only on part 1. But the entire time I'm playing it, I'm sort of getting that sense. But anyway, so you have this tribe, you know, fighting this other tribe to, you know, sort of assert their dominance and, you know, gain points to go to Nirvana. And all of a sudden, this object just drops down and spreads like this radiation or something around, and it hits all the people in the Junkyard. And what this does is it changes these humans and allows them to transform into these demon forms. So here you have the main character Surf, and then you have his demon form behind him. And because they're now demons, they have to feed off of each other. They have to basically cannibalize each other in order to survive. You know, some characters like Heat, he's really into this for some reason. Like, as soon as it happens, he's like, yes, I want to eat people. And that's a little weird. But then you have characters like Argelia, who is like really against it and really doesn't want to do it. And, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is one of the first times I've ever seen cannibalism in a video game. I mean, this is 2005. Was that? Yeah, that predates Fallout 3. So Fallout 3 was the first one where I really saw, you know, cannibalism in it. And so this, for my brain, I think this is the first time that there's been cannibalization in a video game. I guess you can count Resident Evil since they're technically people who turn into zombies, but anyway. So now this adds this whole new dynamic to this war that's going on, where not only are they fighting for dominance like they used to, but now there's this new dynamic of actually them eating each other in order to become more powerful. So the storyline moves on, and you know, we also meet this girl named Sarah, who has these really kind of ridiculous powers over these demons. She can basically when the hunger hits these people, they turn into their demon forms, and they're just ready to eat anything around them. And she sings this song that sort of calms them down and reverts them back to human. So she has these, you know, sort of mystic powers, or I guess digital powers. I don't know. There's some kind of crazy computer thing going on in here. But anyway, and, you know, basically, I'm getting really in-depth with this storyline. I really shouldn't have done this because it's eating up the entire video. But there's a tower in the middle that basically controls the entire junkyard, and the orders from the tower is whoever captured Sarah, basically they have to destroy Sarah because it would be, if they don't, it would be an act of war, and it ends up the Embryon instead take her in and try to protect her. There we go. So throughout the game, you fight the wars with the other tribes and eventually get to the Karma Temple, where all the characters sort of meet their destinies. Now, talking about the characters, this is something that kind of, on the one hand I liked, but on the other hand I felt a little weird about, was the characters. On the one hand, they kind of all fall into those pre-described RPG cliches. Like the main hero he's a non-speaking character, so it draws you in. Heat is, of course, the hothead of the group. You have Argelia, who is sort of the heart of the group. You know, she's having a really hard time with this. You have Gale, who is sort of the unemotional, calculating one who always kind of uses logic to solve problems. And then you have Celio, who is the Jamaican, humor of the group. He is always cracking wise and stuff like that. But, and as the characters start off, they're very emotionally dead. But as they, become demonized and move through the game, memories and emotions start awakening in them, and they don't know what they're from, and we don't know what they're from. The game is kind of leading us on with tidbits, but I'm really hoping in Digital Devil Saga 2 we get to see what actually is going on in here. So we'll stop talking about the storyline because I think I talked that to death. Next up, I'm going to talk about the graphics, and the graphics are a mixed bag for me. While I really enjoy, and I thought the graphics in this game were really good, at the same time, I always have this kind of problem with a lot of games on the PS2, in that the character models and the characters themselves look plastic and stiff and not real. And one, I know that it's because it's a video game. But when Surf runs, his character model looks like he's about ready to knee himself in the face. Like, it's very exaggerated and very, it's just not realistic. The character models themselves, they have kind of a cell shading to them. I don't know if it's a full-on cell shading or if it's just, that kind of a graphical style. But the characters' faces always seemed weird to me in this game. Like, they just look dead behind the eyes. Maybe that's the point, because when we first meet them, of course, they're emotionally dead characters, and it's just throughout the game they awaken. But there was a scene where they're all kind of staring at the camera, and I was just looking at these faces, and they creeped me out. They're creepy looking faces. But that being said, I actually found Argelia to be a quite attractive character. I really liked her character model, and it's kind of weird saying, "Oh, she's a hot woman" when she's not really real. But whatever. I think she's kind of attractive. Definitely with that slit all the way up the side of her dress. The graphics. What else? Oh yes, the environments. The graphical style of this game is very, very muted. It's like a very muted palette. And usually I like really colorful games, vibrant games that look really bright. And there's a lot of gray in this. So, a lot of people out there are criticizing modern shooters for having a very brown or gray palette. This is a game that's kind of like that. Aside from a few areas, it's very gray, and honestly, my eyes got a little bored looking at it from time to time because everything kind of looks similar. You know what I mean? If the different parts of the junkyard were, really different and really vibrant from each other, that would be a lot cooler than, sort of this muted palette throughout. But the environments themselves, while they're littered with things like, bookshelves and, just scattered remnants of this previous culture that this city had, it's scattered with detail, but at the same time it also felt a little vacant to me because there's not a lot of characters to run around and talk to. It's kind of one of those things like I leveled at 13, where you didn't interact with any NPCs. Like you interact with NPCs every now and then, but it's not a big thing like it is in other RPGs. The gameplay. Now this is something that really, at first, I really liked. As I moved through it, I really got frustrated with. Never in my life have I ever played a game where enemies' strengths and weaknesses and status effects have really meant so much. You have to know the enemy's strengths and weaknesses, or otherwise you will get decimated. You cannot autopilot this game at all. Like, every battle is like a major battle. And on the one hand, that's really cool and really fresh and interesting for me, because I've never played a game really like that. But on the other hand, where I'm at the end and I'm at the last tower and my characters are powered up enough, I don't really want to grind out levels anymore. I just want to get to the end of the game and beat the bosses and, you know, complete it. It's just like every battle was excruciating. So in the early stages of the game, I found it really enjoyable to power up my characters and level them up. But once I was done leveling, I didn't want to have to hassle with that battle system anymore. I wanted to just, you know, quickly be able to dispatch the enemies and move on. So when you get this game and you play this game, you know, you really have to keep that mindset in, you know, in your head that you're not going to be able to just power through this game and just really move quickly through it. I think my game clock was like 35 to 39 hours when I beat it. I missed a lot of stuff. Like, there's these red and yellow walls. I guess you find keys to unlock these, you know, walls. Didn't find any of those keys. Didn't do any of the hunts in there. So I missed a lot of stuff in it, but I still got the storyline, and that's what, you know, is important to me. But yeah, you cannot move through this game quickly. It sets the pace, and you have to, you know, go with that pace. If you try to move too quickly, you're going to die and have to restart from a save point. So, the mantra system reminded me a lot of, oh, I can't remember the name of the system, but it reminded me a lot of the Sphere Grid. It reminded me a lot of the Sphere Grid from Final Fantasy X. I mean, it's not a direct thing, but it just kind of, you know, it kind of put that in my mind again. How you level up in this game is kind of weird too, because you, of course, you get experience levels for your characters. You get what the game's currency is, which I can't. It's like mecha or something like that, and you use that mecha to buy new mantras for your characters, and that's how they learn their skills. You also use this mecha to buy items and ammo for your human forms as well. So, you know, you really have to do a lot of battling to build up your mecha so you can buy some of these really advanced, dog's going crazy over there, these really advanced mantras to learn the really powerful magic. And the weird thing about it is, you level up your mantras by attaining Atma points, but never in the game did I see like a numerical readout for how many Atma points I gained during a battle. It just seems like an arbitrary thing. Like, in some battles, you'll fight enemies and it'll fill your bar like crazy. You know, like, we'll say 25% of your bars, boom. And then, like, the next battle, you'll fight the same enemies and only fill like a little bit of your bar. So it just seems like every battle, the bar fills at a different rate. So I never really understood the whole Atma system. And, of course, you can get skills to increase your Atma, the amount of Atma you gain per battle, but I never, you know, it's not like in Final Fantasy where you know how many experience points you have to the next level. It tells you how many experience points for your character's level, but it never tells you how many, like, Atma points you need to finish out the mantra. So that was a little strange to me. What else of the gameplay? Touch on the battle. It's a dungeon crawler. There's no real overworld. 99.9% of the time that you're playing this game, you're in either an enemy's base or you're in your own base, you know, leveling up and spending your money and stuff. No overworld. I didn't really feel like you could just kind of relax with this game. I felt like you had to constantly be moving forward in it. And that's something that, you know, I feel like we're really missing out in RPGs nowadays that don't have like overworlds, because I can remember back in the day playing like Final Fantasy 3, and there'd be times where I just play 2 hours straight just tooling around on the overworld map and leveling up, you know, my espers and gaining spells from them for all my characters. And in this game, I never really felt like I was able to just kick back and relax and level. And that's part, you know, it's part and parcel to how the game is structured. It's kind of structured like Final Fantasy 13 in that you just move from place to place. And it's also because the battle system is so involved. And I think that's where my frustration came from. It's a really involved battle system that you just can't relax and just grind. It's almost a... I don't want to say it's a chore to grind in this game, because it's not. It just requires a lot more effort to grind in this game than it does in other RPGs. The music, you know, along the lines with everything else in this game, the music actually reminded me a lot of Silent Hill music, and that's not a one-to-one comparison. It's just that, like, when you're walking around in the dungeons and stuff, the music is kind of creepy, or, you know, a little bit, yeah, just kind of a creepy vibe to it. And then when, like, you get into the battles, it's very guitar-driven. So that's how it kind of reminded me of Silent Hill music. I actually downloaded the soundtrack to listen to more of it, because the music, I can't say that I really enjoyed the music. The music intrigued me, and I wanted to hear more of it outside of the game to sort of get an idea for it. So I downloaded the soundtracks, and I'm going to listen to them. And if I really do like them, I'll buy them. If not, I'll just delete the tracks off my computer, and there we go. But for the most part, the music goes well with the game, but it is kind of a weird soundtrack. It's not like a big, you know, orchestral swells and things like that. It's got kind of just a weird, creepy vibe to it, and every now and then you get a heavy metal track to help you fight your battles. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Digital Devil Saga. You know, on the one hand, I'm telling you guys, I really did enjoy it. I know it sounds like I'm just knocking it. I really did enjoy my time with it. It just wasn't until the end, where I just wanted to power through it and get it done, that I got frustrated with it, because the game makes you play it at its own pace. It knows how it wants you to play it, and if you don't play it that way, then by God, get out of there. You know what I mean? And another thing, I didn't say this before, but for anybody out there who's played a bunch of other RPGs like me and then has not played one of these games, this is going to be kind of an eye-opener also, because this game is difficult. And I kind of touched on it, I guess, in the talking about the battle system and stuff. But this is a very difficult game. And if you're looking for a nice, light RPG to relax with, this is not the RPG to do. So, you know, I want you guys to know what you're getting yourself into when you go into this game, because if you don't kind of prepare yourself the right way, you could almost not like it. Like, there were times where, you know, just an enemy, they kept canceling me out and just, you know, keep exploiting my weaknesses and just decimating me. And I threw the controller down. I was like, I'm done with this for a while. So that's when I went and played Cave Story 3D. But I stuck with it, and I got to the end. I really enjoyed the ending. It's a nice cliffhanger ending that, you know, gears you up for part 2. So I'm really looking forward to playing part 2. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it right away. I'm going to let this kind of rest for a little bit. I'm actually kind of getting burned out a little bit on RPGs, so I'm going to be playing some action games here soon. Well, not really. I guess one action game and then back into RPGs. But anyway, neither here nor there. But I'm really looking forward to part 2. I'm really looking forward to jumping into the Persona series, and we'll see how that goes. Of course, I'm going to start with Persona 1 on the PSP. So, yeah, that was my first experience with a Mega 10 game. You know, it's a series that I'm not too 100% sure on yet. I enjoy it, but at the same time, I do have some, you know, issues with it. But that's just because I'm not used to this style yet, you know. But I'm intrigued by it, and I really want to explore it more. And luckily, I have plenty of Mega 10 games to explore. So, I'm not sure what to tell you guys. Go out and buy it or not. Do some more research. A lot of people really like these games, and it's almost what are you doing? It's almost as big as Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. So definitely check them out. See if they're your cup of tea or not. I need to spend some more time with these games before I can really make a definitive statement on Shin Megami Tensei. So look for more videos coming up on this series because I'm not giving up on it. I'm gonna dive more into it and really kind of put myself into the deep end and try to see if I really enjoy it or not. So I know I said that my next video was going to be my unboxing, mystery unboxing that I keep teasing you guys with, but I just happened to finish this game. Decided to make another video. The mystery unboxing should be here tomorrow because it is in. It's actually at the post office right now. It's going to be sorted out for delivery tonight for tomorrow. So look for that tomorrow night. And then after that, by God, I'm going to take a break from making videos because I think I'm making so many videos that like people aren't getting to see all of them. I don't know. I'm not sure how it pops up on your guys' screen, but it feels like I'm making way too many videos. But anyway, that was Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga 1 for the PS2. A game that I really enjoyed, but also had some frustrations with. So, I'll make another video here as soon as I beat another game or get that mystery unboxing for you guys. I got a whole list of videos to make, so it's not like I'm lacking for ideas here. But I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Take care.